just have one artist. We have two artists for the guest, for the break, for the Weekend Top 20. So once again, let me reintroduce none other than Kwasi.
What's going on?
I love it. Okay, we can hear your beautiful voice, Kwasi. Thanks so much. How's your morning so far?
Yeah, good. Chill. Had a bit of breakfast and just been kicking it. Slow start today. So it's been nice.
Fun. Hey, so Kwasi, tell us a little bit about you. And, this is your first time in Cebu, right?
Yes,
so
first time.
How did Kwasi come to be? And what are you doing here? Thanks for coming, though.
Man, where do I begin? So I'm an Australian-based artist, but my heritage is Ghanaian, so West African. My dad's from West Africa. Music-wise, music's always been a big part of my life. From listening to it, I grew up in a place where I was sort of, a bit of a misfit. There weren't many people that looked like me there, so music was always like a place for me to escape when I was growing up. And then as I got older and I created music, I sort of still used it for a similar thing to explore different notions and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, moved to Melbourne, started playing shows, playing gigs, meeting people, and yeah, just to speed up to here now, I sort of was playing around Melbourne for a bit, playing a lot of shows, putting on events, and then linked with my homie boy Grad, and we've been homies for a minute, wrote a few songs together, and then he was always telling me about the stuff that's going on over in the Philippines and how much you guys love music over here, so it always just got me really excited. So then everything kind of aligned, and that's what brought me to the Philippines. Yeah.
Dude, we're so happy that you came by, stopped by. Can we ask about how you came to be? Like, have you always known that you wanted to be pursuing music? Have you always wanted to get into music? How long was it? Or
so
what age?
I've always artistically, I've always been inclined artistically. When I was a little kid, I used to watch films growing up a lot, and I'd always get into the character. When I watch a movie, I'd act like the character for the next week afterwards. So I wasn't entirely sure it was going to be music, but I knew it was going to be something that was expressive, some sort of art form. And then just the way things fell into place and the influences I had, music just sort of, naturally happened.
Who were your influences, way back when you were a kid?
Way back when? Yeah. So I grew up with a lot of, two different households. So my mum's Australian, my dad's African. So around my mum, a lot of grunge music, like Nirvana was in the house, heavy bands. And, my stepdad's, he listens to a lot of death metal and really heavy stuff.
Dude, wow. Yeah, so as a kid, that was what you were exposed to.
So I heard a lot of that stuff, but then whenever I'd stay with my dad, I'd hear a lot of African music, a lot of reggae, a lot of Michael Jackson. So I sort of had the both contrasting sides, the really heavy stuff and then the more soulful stuff. So those were a lot of my influences growing up earlier on. And
do you incorporate any of those to, the concepts that you have for your own personal music?
Yeah, 100%. I love just putting a stew of sounds together and seeing what you can come up with, something different, just pushing the envelope. You're taking really different influences and seeing what you get out of it.
Yeah, that's what makes people great artists, the fact that they can combine all of these two conflicting things and make it just so complementary to each other. So I've heard a little bit about Ready to Go, and we're so excited for it to come out. But before that, tell us a little bit about how Ready to Go came to be.
Okay, so a lot of my music, I find, I call it alchemy.
Alchemy.
So the idea behind it is that you take a raw material, it might be something negative, maybe something positive, and then you transform that into something new. I wrote it about a year ago, and it was sort of going through a time in life where I felt a bit trapped, and I wanted to get out of a situation, and taking that bad energy and just doing something constructive with it and creating something new. So it's about this idea of you might have been through some stuff or something's going on, and then you're just all right, it's time to get on with it. It's time to start moving and move towards where I want to be in life.
Well, thank you for putting that expression and, turning that negative into something so beautiful. People don't understand that music can be a sort of self-expression. And a lot of times that really just, when you put your heart and soul into something, that resonates to people. And we're so excited for everybody to hear this. Ready to Go is getting ready and queued up to go. But first we want to know about Kwasi. Why Kwasi?
The name?
Yeah, the name.
Okay, so
how'd that come to be?
As I mentioned before, my heritage is Ghanaian.
Yes.
So in Ghana, we have what's called a kradin.
What is it?
It's called a kradin. Kradin. So it translates in English to soul name. Your kradin is your soul name.
Oh,
so it's just dependent on what day of the week that you're born on. So I was born on a Sunday. And then, so my soul name is Kwasi, and, it ties into my music, speaking from your soul or, creating art to connect with that party. So that's where the name came from.
That's amazing. So a lot of people in your heritage, they also have the name Kwasi, or is it distinctly unique to you?
No, a lot of people will have it. It's almost like a nickname when you're growing up.
No way.
It's different for a boy and a girl.
Name.
Yeah, so and it's different for a boy and girl based on.
Okay.
There's only about 14 all up, so you'll meet a lot of other people. Like I have randoms all the time online that follow me. That'll be called Kwasi as well. There'll be some dude over in Africa or something like that.
Kwasi represent.
Yeah. So I got a whole squad of Kwasis out
That
there.
is so cool. Thank you so much for bringing a little bit of heritage into the global stage. Like that is amazing. And how's Cebu so far? How's the Philippines so far? Because is this your first time visiting the Philippines in general?
Yeah, first time.
How is it like?
It's cool. Yeah, it's interesting. It actually reminds me because I used to go to Ghana growing up, and there's some threads. Like there's some similarities I find between the two places for
like
sure.
What?
Just the culture, the way the streets are made up, the way that like the environment ties into the building structures, and the way you guys build your infrastructure around the environment and stuff looks really similar. And the traffic as well, like Denali, just how everyone just sort of drives into the one spot. It's the same back there as well. But yeah, I'm loving it. I love it's definitely more chaotic than Australia, but it's exciting. It's like a bit
There's
of an
beauty in
adventure.
chaos, right?
100%.
How are the people? Have they been nice to you? Have they been welcoming?
Yeah, everyone's been cool. The music's, people really listen. Like the music really connects with people here, and they seem to really resonate with it, which is really nice.
We have a community. Yeah, we have a community, a stronghold of people who are really here to support music and to support artists. Whether you're growing, whether you're local, you're national, international, or whether you're at the top of your league, like there's just an equal playing ground for the community here. So we're happy to hear you. We're happy that you're finally here on the radio. Like, congrats to you. Thank you so much for stopping by and launching your song here. And so before we launch that song, I do have a question, because this show is called Hot Takes and Hot Tracks. I want to know, what is Kwasi's hot take?
My hot take?
Your hot take.
Unpopular opinion? So I would say mine would be that I believe that the genre of hip hop, which is a very wide stretching genre, but I think it's one of the most important movements in the music space since blues music. So, within the last 100 or so years, I think it's the most important genre to come out.
Why is it the most? I mean, there are tons of genres of music, and there are subgenres to these genres. Why hip hop?
Because I think you can see that the same artists from hip hop are the ones that have been really pushing the envelope, the ones in fashion that are changing fashion. I think it's the fundamentals behind the art that have changed the way people look at things. It's this culture of like curating, this culture of remixing, the attention to detail when it comes to like fashion, clothing, colors, artistic integrity. So I think the realness behind it as well. So that'd be mine.
I love it too, because hip hop isn't just a genre of music. For me personally, it's a political movement. It's a statement. It pushes revolutions, and the messages of hip hop is really heartfelt and really raw. And so it comes to a point where sometimes it gets controversial, right? But that's the stuff we want to listen to. That's the stuff that we need, the grit, the raw passion, what makes it human. So I believe your unpopular opinion. I believe your truth. Thank you so much for sharing it.
So good.
Speaking of truth, okay, so we do have a segment here. Before we launch your hot track, we have something called the Red Rhythm. We have something called the Red Hot Rhythm Hot Seat, where you are in the hot seat and we want to know, top of your mind, what do you think about these things? I'm gonna ask you rapid fire questions, just first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, let's
You
do
ready?
it. Yep.
All right, let's do it. The Red Hot Rhythm Hot Seat, starting in 3, 2, 1. Kwasi, night or morning?
Morning.
Nuclear warfare or zombie apocalypse?
Zombie apocalypse.
Follow your mind, follow your heart.
Follow your heart.
Huge concert or intimate show?
Huge concert.
Ooh, for love or for money?
For love.
Would you rather pause time or rewind time? What do you feel right now? In the moment?
Pause.
Okay, let's do that. Painful truth or comforting lie?
Painful truth.
What is the most attractive part of a person?
How do I put it in one word? They're like passion, the thing that gets them going.
I love that. People have been saying physical things, but it's more internal, the passion.
Yeah, for sure.
Love that. Cravings right now?
Cravings right now?
What do I want to eat?
I'm just kind of thirsty, actually.
Water?
Yeah.
Dream collaboration?
Oh, Kid Cudi.
Oh, let's manifest that. Internet meme or TikTok famous? Which would you rather be?
TikTok famous right now.
Describe a perfect date.
Perfect day or date?
Perfect date.
Date. Probably doing something creative together.
Creative.
Yeah, something
like?
creative. eating some good food, and it doesn't have to be necessarily music. Maybe someone else does something else, but they do something. We do something creative,
Okay.
and build something together.
Build, create, love that. Biggest red flag.
Biggest red flag. What's the word? Like egotistical.
Okay, yeah. It's more of the personality. What would you wish people knew more about you?
Probably my art form. Like
Your art form.
Yeah.
One last question. Ready to stay or ready to go?
Ready to go.
Yeah, baby, that's it. Kwasi, thank you so much. What is one last thing you want to impart to the people who are, who've been in a place where it's been dark and they want to just, they want to get out of it? And for people who are also inclined to music, since, you're here right now, what is one thing you want to tell them?
Johnny.
Find the beauty in the chaos. And, just keep on moving forward. There's always a light day after a dark night.
Kwasi, thank you so much. This has been great. This has been fun. Since it's a weekend top 20 countdown, we're going to be counting down to ready to go because it is ready. It is cued. Do it with me in 5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
I'm weak up now, I'm all ready to go. It's over. You get what you want. You're getting what you want. I'm a piece of like you keep saying. So we're ending it.
It's